guys, I'm gonna do a video on contouring today, all the tips and tricks, the most basic contouring. So if you're interested and you want to learn how to contour in the most simple way, then just keep watching. Decided to try filming somewhere else this time. Instead of having a white background, I'm just gonna sit on my bed and talk to you guys. I figured it would be like more relaxed or whatever. So today I'm going to be doing a video on contouring and how to contour and some tips with contouring and why contouring is so important and how much of a difference that it makes. So first I wanted to go over what you're going to need to contour. For the most basic contouring, you're just going to need two shades. You're going to need a contour powder, and then you're going to need a highlighting powder. For the contour powder, you're going to want to pick a shade that's about 3 shades darker than your skin tone, and for the highlighting powder, you're going to want to pick a shade that's about 2 shades lighter than your skin tone. And if you wanted to go a little bit further, if you feel really confident in your contouring and you have the time to put into it, you can actually use about 4 shades. You want that highlighting shade, and then you're also going to want a shade that's got a yellow undertone to it, that to use underneath your eyes, because whenever you want to cancel out blues or purples, you want to use something that's got a yellow base or a yellow undertone, and that will really help to cancel out that blue and purple, you know, the bags that you get underneath your eyes. And then you can also, as you know, you can have that contour shade that's 3 shades darker, and then you can also have a shade that's even a little bit more darker than that initial shade that you have, where you can really use to darken and sculpt things out. As far as brushes go, you really don't need to go out and buy a brush for contouring. Of course, I do have the Nars Ita brush. I'm not quite sure how you say it. It's pretty pricey. It just looks like this. And then it's very flat, you know. So this is really nice for contouring. You can really create like that strong line that you're going for. But like I said, it's not an essential. You really don't need to go out and spend, I think this was like $40 or something like that. It was way too much. Instead of going out and buying, you know, that expensive brush or any brush that's designed for contouring, you can take any blush brush that you have, a fluffy brush like this. And if you just squeeze it like this, it really makes it pretty flat. That's what you need. You just really need something that you can get a pretty, you know, not like a super precise line or anything like that, but you don't want to just be blending everything everywhere. You need to make sure that, you know, the contour shade stays in the area that you want it to stay and it's not all down here. So if you can, you know, take a brush and just squeeze it like this, that works, you know, plenty fine. Other brush that I use is like a fluffy powder brush like this. I'll often use this when I put shades underneath of my eyes, just to really, you know, because that's not so precise when I do that. I'm really just trying to cover like a large area underneath my eye. So I'll use this for like the banana shade and sometimes even the highlighter shade. And then lastly, I also use a round brush like this. This is a MAC brush. I think it's 109, MAC 109. I will use this to go back in and blend out, you know, if my contour is a little bit too strong, you know, contour too strong, you want to tone it down, then I go back in with a brush like this, and it, you know, it's not so wide and big that it's going to completely blend out everything that I've done, but it still will blend my contour out a little bit so it's not such a harsh line. So I'm going to be using the Anastasia contour kit today to contour. I sometimes use drugstore powders and stuff like that, but you know, this is what works for me, and it's got all the shades that I need in it in this one little set like this. So, you know, if you're not willing to spend, you know, if you really don't want to spend $40 some or whatever on this, like I said, you can go out and just buy those 2 shades, you know, the 2 different powders and the different shades at the drugstore, and that'll work fine. So first I'm going to be going in with this shade here. First thing you're going to want to do is make a fishy face, which I know looks funny, but it really helps you define your cheekbones. So you're just going to, that line that you get here, you can almost see a shadow there when you suck your cheeks in. That hollowness there, that's exactly where you want to put your contour. You want to be sure that, you know, you're putting this powder in there and it's not going anywhere below where that hollowness is. It's okay if you blend it a little bit upwards, but you always want to be sure you're blending up and never down. I'll suck in my cheeks. Basically, it touches the top of my ear right here, And then you want to bring it down. A good rule of thumb is to bring it down like to the tail end of where your eyebrow ends. So after I do that, I'm going to go in with this color right here. I'm going to be using my MAC brush, a little bit on there. Then I'm going to tap it off. And then I'm just going to go right back there where I contoured before. And I'm going to blend it up a little bit, even up past my ear back here. And just blend, blend, blend. Blending is the key to everything in makeup, really. It really is. If you have the time to sit around and blend, you will have beautiful makeup by the time you're done. But it gives you a good idea of exactly where you want to put the contour, and you can see that, you know, it's pretty white or much lighter underneath here, and there's a pretty strong line right there that, you know, between the contour and my skin below, and you want to make sure that you really keep that line. You do not want to blend your contour down. You only want to be blending it up. So after I do my cheekbone, I'm going to go back in with my Nars Ita Brush again, and I'm going to take that same shade that I first started with, start up by my hairline, and just work it down. Basically down to the tip of my eyebrow here. Blend, blend, blend. So then after I work over here towards the temple, I will start to bring it in on my forehead, just working all along the hairline and then blending it out towards the center of my forehead. So then I'm going to go back in with this shade right here, and I'm going to take that MAC brush again, and then I'm just going to use this once again up here at my temple. So really, you just keep adding color. It's better to add color as you want to darken it rather than to go super dark, because it's not very easy to take color away. So you want to just slowly build the contour, slowly build the color. You know, just do what you're comfortable with and what you think looks good. Sometimes you often have to maybe go out of, if you do your makeup in the bathroom, sometimes you have to go out of the bathroom maybe and do it in like a room where there's natural light. That really helps if you do it in a room where there's a window, like in front of the window, because a lot of times artificial light, you'll put all this contour on and then you go out into the natural light and it's way too harsh and strong. So then I go back in with my Nars Ita Brush again, and I'm going to take that first shade that we used, and I'm just going to use that right under my jawbone, especially back here towards my ear. So yeah, not dragging it down onto your neck and not dragging it up onto your chin, just keeping it right underneath your chin, right where the natural shadow is. I mean, when you look, you can see that I have a shadow under here, and you just want to intensify that shadow. So now that I've finished with the contour, I'm going to start with the highlighting. So I'm just going to use this fluffy brush here. This is by Sigma. I think it is a F25 by Sigma. And I'm going to mix the banana shade and then this highlighter shade here. I think it's called Vanilla. So I'm going to mix banana and vanilla with this fluffy brush. And then I'm just going to put this right underneath my eye here. And I'll bring it all the way back in that area that I left earlier open. This is the time where you really want to use that banana shade. That helps with your dark circles. It helps to cancel out the blues and the purples. So you really just want to put that underneath of your eye there. So then after I go under my eye with the vanilla and the banana shade, I will go and highlight the rest of my face just using the vanilla shade. So I will go down the brim of my nose and up in between my eyebrows and on the center of my forehead. And then I will go underneath of my contour here just to really sharpen that line. You want to make sure that it's very light underneath of here and not dark, because that really just creates like a muddy looking, it just doesn't look good. So you want to make sure that it's highlighted underneath here as well. And then I also highlight around my mouth, just down and on my chin. So that's going to be your most basic contouring and highlighting. If you just remember the 3 rule, basically you're going to want to create the shape of a 3 on the side of your face. Just remember the 3. That really helps. And so then with the highlighting, that just basically goes where you're not contouring. So right underneath the jawbone here and underneath your eye and then in the center of your forehead. So after you contour, that's when you're going to want to go in with your blush. And you just apply, I apply it just basically right above my contour there, and then I bring it all the way back to my hairline, not, you know, up very far underneath my eye. I want to leave this area under here all open, but I do bring it quite far back there. And then just down onto the apple of my cheek, just a little bit. After you get done with your blush, that's when you're going to go in with your highlighter. And when I say highlighter this time, I'm talking about the shimmery highlighter that you're going to put on top in very, you know, small, precise areas, not that powder highlighter that you used after the contouring. So I'm going to use Becca Opal highlighter, which is by far my favorite. It's amazing and looks good on everybody. It just looks like this. So then I'm just going to use a small brush to apply this. Very small brush. You can even use your finger. So then you just want to apply that right above your blush. So I guess you can say it's safe to stop a little bit, about where your eye ends here. That's where you're going to want to stop with your highlighter. So I went ahead and finished the other side of my face and put on some lipstick. So this is my completed look with plenty of contour, and you know, I just really think that it makes the biggest difference in your makeup when you take the time to contour your face. Like I said, you know, with me sitting here and explaining it to you, it takes a little bit longer, but really it can take you about 2 minutes in the morning. Just add 2 minutes onto your makeup routine where you contour and highlight your face, and it makes the biggest difference. I really hope that you learned something and found this helpful, and please like the video or subscribe, and check back in a couple days for a new video. Hopefully I'll have another video up with some tips and tricks for you. So thanks so much for watching. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye. So I wanted to show you guys what I have in my lap right now because they're just so cute. So I thought that you should get to see them as well. They're my little babies. I have sugar gliders. They're very sleepy right now because they're nocturnal, so it's still bedtime for them. But here's my little babies. Here's my sweethearts. That's my Luna. My Loon. And Coda's very sleepy. She's the more sleepy one, so sometimes she's not so cooperative. But there's my Coda bear. I love them. She's so sweet, huh? Alright, you can go back to bed now. It's bright, isn't it? So yeah, they just sit right here in this little pouch in my lap while I film.